Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you all had a great holiday season. I wanted to make a video today to look at a budget version of the mono red aggro deck. So this is a deck, again, completely made out of commons and uncommons. So if you're just starting out and you don't have any of the rares or if you're unable to craft any mythics, this is the deck for you if you just want to look at trying to kind of rank up on ladder. So I wanted to take it through a standard event since I do have a different deck that I am using currently for ladder. I think right now the full version of the mono red deck, I'm currently at rank 304 mythic. So trying to shoot for top 250 here by the end of the month. But what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and jump into a standard event just to show you kind of some gameplay here for this budget version, which I think is really going to be a nice option here. It's still, I believe, competitive if you don't have the rares or the mythics to make this into a full list. If you're new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. It really does help the channel. And for all my returning viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And you do make my channel possible. So thank you so much. All right, very happy here with this opening hand. We've got just a couple land, which is sort of perfect. Lots of nice removal and creatures to kind of get into the red zone. So we'll go ahead and lead out here with Cacophony Scamp. And this is nice because we've got Monstrous Rage, so we can, potentially put in some decent amounts of damage here on turn 2 if they don't leave removal up. Okay, so they could have the cut down here. They are representing it. So I think what we'll do now is we'll just lead out here with Phoenix Chick. This way, if we draw another land next turn, we can go Imidane's Recruiter and push for some extra damage. Okay, so here we could Monstrous Rage in response, just so that it will do a little bit more damage. But we can also just put that on our Phoenix Chick, so this is fine. So we'll just go ahead and let this resolve. And now since they're tapped out, we can go ahead and put on the Monstrous Rage and start pushing a little bit more damage here. And the nice thing about this deck is it does have kind of a lot of the tools of a standard mono red deck. It does have Play with Fire and Lightning Strike to kind of get there. Let's see, what did our opponent do? He did a Dread Knight. Okay, so here we're happy to do a Recruiter here. Even though we're only pumping 2 creatures, this is totally fine. We just want to get as much damage in as we can as quickly as possible. And now we're only a couple points away from ending the game.
Let's make this quick.
Alright, so here we're going to lose the Recruiter. Even though Chick could come back, we don't have any other creatures in hand, and the evasion is pretty important, I think. And here we've got 7 damage, so not quite enough to end it, but very close. So we'll just ignore Liliana here. And we could even play out our land, sort of get them ready to, if they want to use a discard, we can just play all of our spells in response. Alright, so in response, we'll just go face. And Monstrous Rage by itself is not going to do it, so we're going to need some other form of damage here.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Okay, and Epicure will definitely get it done. So there's the first round. Yeah, between like Epicure, we had Kumano faces Kakazan, we had quite a few outs there, so decent chance of just ending that game right there off the top. Okay, and again, just to take a quick peek at the list, if you didn't see it, here it is. Tons and tons of one-drops. We've got the full play set here of Cacophony Scamp to get the sort of double dip on damage if we can give it a counter off like Kumano faces Kakazan, or Monstrous Rage to pump it up to do extra damage. We do have 4 Kumano faces Kakazan, which if you've seen Mono Red, you will know and love. Monastery Swift Spear. Same deal, Monstrous Rage. This is the premier way of pumping our team. 4 Phoenix Chick, which is also a standard staple here in Mono Red Aggro for Play with Fire. And then Epicure here is a nice card that does that initial point of damage right to face and gives us the ability to filter some of our land out with the blood token. I do have 4 copies of Lightning Strike, and then I put in 4 copies of Imidane's Recruiter just to give everything haste and get right into the red zone. 1 copy of Kenra's Spell Spear is kind of the odd extra card here to fit into the deck. There are, I believe, 18 non-creature spells, so a decent chance of just getting a little bit extra value here. You can go ahead and transform it, but otherwise it's certainly fine as a Trample Prowess 2/2 on turn 2. And then I've got 2 copies of Invasion of Regatha to do some additional damage here. And then just 21 mountains. So let's go ahead and get into the next round. And the nice thing is if you are looking at just laddering up very quickly, this is a deck that, win or lose, will end its game fairly quickly. I did have a lot of fun kind of running it a couple months ago, just did basically the entire month Mono Red, and it is really, I think, one of my favorite ways to just rank up on ladder, just because the games are so fast. But I really wanted to get a chance to answer some of what you guys are asking for and show you some budget versions of this deck. Yeah, this opening hand is great. We're going to lead out here with Kumano faces Kakazan, and then we can give the extra counter to the Cacophony Scamp. This way our Scamp will come in as a 2/2, and so when it dies it'll do an extra 2 damage to face or another target. Okay, up against the Mirror. They probably have the full version of the deck, which is fine. But even when you're playing with just commons and uncommons, you can still get pretty far. Okay, now that we've got Lightning Strike ready, we're ready to just send in with everything. If he tries to use a trick with Swift Spear, we can go ahead and Lightning Strike in response. And we're not quite ready to sack this for the additional damage, so we're just going to go ahead and decline, and then we'll just go ahead and pass. This way, if he plays something really threatening like a Squee or Godric, we can go ahead and Lightning Strike it. Especially if he decides to leave it back. Okay, so now we would get him down to 6 and then down to 3. I think we're still going to wait one more turn here, see if we can push some more damage, so we are going to decline. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and kill Godric in response because we don't want it to grow to a 4/4. And now we can just go ahead and sort of lean on our life total advantage here. Just push with everything. So again, we could sacrifice and go to face, but it isn't really necessary yet. They don't have Kumano yet, so they can't really exile. So I think it's safe to go ahead and just decline right here and just leave it. Okay, and that is going to do it. Nice 4 damage here to face, and then can just go ahead and move on to the next match. All right, we are on the draw, so we have some of our best starting cards here. Kumano faces Kakazan and Swift Spear. Plus, we do have a Play with Fire. This is, you know, maybe a little questionable to keep, but because we have such powerful cards here, and we're on the draw, I'm going to go ahead and keep here. What Mono Red really doesn't want is a weak opening or not enough cards to end the game. And here, instead of checking on our upkeep with Play with Fire, we are just going to go ahead and see if we can naturally draw it. And if we didn't, we could start maybe doing that after this turn. But we want to be able to ideally go like Swift Spear into Kakazan if we can. So if we natural draw it, great. If we don't, that's okay. And now we're going to get another Kumano faces Kakazan rolling. Okay, so they are representing probably Fairy Mastermind here, so that they can get their schooner going. So we should be cognizant of that. So that being said, I think the play here is going to be to kind of want to get Spell Spear going. They could have removal for it, so that is certainly a possibility. We could just get Chicks going instead. It's an interesting question. I guess they also could have like another removal spell here, so maybe it's better to kind of spread out our threats. Yeah, maybe we'll do that instead. So I guess let's go Phoenix Chick plus Phoenix Chick, and then we'll hold up Play with Fire in case they decide to Fairy Mastermind. So they're representing Wandering Emperor, or something like that. I think we still want to just Play with Fire face here for mana efficiency. And if we lose something and they, you know, make a token and blocks, it sort of doesn't really matter. We've got enough going on here. Okay, don't need this mountain. And now we'll just send with everybody. Even if they have the Wandering Emperor here, it's fine. Okay, that's perfect because now we can play with Fire the Urtai so they can't block with it. They can still go ahead and get the Schooner going. Actually, that was a mistake because they can get Schooner going in response. So yeah, that was a misplay there. I think we can still close it out, but yeah, ideally, I guess we would just save that to go to face. So I need to definitely slow down my play a little bit here just so I don't make some of those errors. So they are representing another Urtai, looks like. We can go ahead and attack with 3 guys to get back our Phoenix chick. They will probably kill our guy before combat, but I think we can try for it and see if it happens. And I don't think flipping this here is going to be worthwhile. We just want to save the mana to do the other stuff. And again, we're pushing enough here that I think it's fine if we lose something to one of his Schooners. Okay, there's the Urtai. And that's going to be a nice one. So now if we draw another mana, we can go ahead and recruit her into getting back our Phoenix chick on the attack, or just recruit her. Okay, so we've got everything here. We can do it all. And this should definitely be lethal. But yeah, even with a little bit of a misplay there, looks like we should still very handily be able to take the game. All right, 3-0. All right, opening hand looks great. Okay, and we will lead out here with Phoenix chick. Just in case they kill it, we can try to bring it back. Okay, so now I think if we go Kenra, this can properly block their Scoundrel. They could just use a Play with Fire or something to get rid of it, but then they won't be able to also go Squee next turn, so that's kind of nice to get that set up. We could hold the Play with Fire for a potential Squee. Yeah, because if we just go Kenra and they go Squee, that's actually not great. So maybe instead we could go like Scamp here. Scamp is kind of nice because it does double duty. Yeah, I think let's just go Scamp. and then hold up Play with Fire in case they've got like the squee. Turn 3 is a pretty important turn for the mono red deck, so either Godric or squeeze, kind of what we're expecting. Okay, there's the Godric. And now we can get the, we can block the Scamp on the Reveler, and then use that plus Play with Fire to kill it, and then get the Scamp's extra damage to kill the Scoundrel. So this will work out well. Now I think let's just stick the Kenra, get that going, and then we can use Play with Fire on the Phoenix chick. Or if they play Squee next turn, so we'll kind of leave that up. So it looks like they might have either like Lightning Strike or Play with Fire in hand. They were hovering over our Spell Spear. Might possibly have removal here, but yeah, happy to use Play with Fire to get rid of their check. Oh, it looks like maybe they're doing Witch Stalkers. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And now we can go ahead and we could start working on Regatha, but I think Regatha, we're better off just trying to go face with them. So maybe instead let's just go Epicure plus Chick this turn. One other consideration, we could use like the blood token to discard Chick if we have enough guys to get it back with the bring it back from graveyard. So that is a heads up play, which we could have looked at, but I think it's fine just playing it out. Okay, no creatures for our opponent, so they must just have some more removal in hand, which is fine. Yeah, we'll just send in here. And again, I don't think we want to work on flipping invasion since we're starting to get close to just ending the game. I think maybe we want to just go Epicure here since it does represent continuous damage instead of just going for the invasion. Plus they could potentially have a 1-drop or a 1 toughness creature that they might play. So I think even though it's like more mana inefficient, maybe we just go Epicure here. But it's kind of close. But this drops him to 7. Yeah, maybe let's be mana efficient because we might want to like cycle next turn, and yeah, I think this is okay. But I could see kind of going either direction here. I think we're just doing that just for the efficiency. Okay, so they do have the squee. So yeah, I suppose if we had held it there, knowing they had squee, we could have killed their 1/1. Okay, this is nice. We get to filter. So we can push 5, but we're at 6, so we definitely want to hold stuff back. How much to send? They probably have at least one piece of removal in hand. I think maybe we send these 3 and then hold these 2 back. Because that way if we draw something off the top, we could potentially get there. Okay, so this is nice. So we can get our Phoenix Chick back if we can keep one of these creatures alive next turn. Which is a big if, but I suppose we'll find out. Okay, so unfortunately that's going to do it with their Phoenix Chick that they're getting back here. Yeah, that was a nice, the extra play with fire. It's going to do it, so we are done. Yeah, I guess in that play that we had, if we had held the invasion of Regatha, we could have killed their 1/1 off the squee, and that might have been enough to maybe change things just by being a little bit mana inefficient. On the turn we had the Epicure and the invasion, so yeah. But we are also playing a deck here that does not have any rares or mythics. Okay, this hand looks great. Got Kumano faces Kakazan on 1 into Cacophony Scamp, which is great. Then here, I think we just hold up the play with fire just to see what they have coming. Okay, that seems like a good target. We could also just block and kill their Vanguard this way as well. But I think that I'd rather do a little bit more damage with the Scamp, so just going to use the play with fire to take out the Vanguard. And now we can get a full push here with the Recruiter. We could push an extra 3 here, but I don't think it's worth it because we can use Monstrous Rage on it next turn for a real full push. So we'll go ahead and decline. Now it is possible they could have like the Brutal Cathar, but I think it's worth trying to go for it. So otherwise we're kind of risking not quite having enough to finish the game. So they're representing Resolute Reinforcements, which is fine. Yeah, we just send everything in, see what they do. Okay. I guess since they can't cast any spells off of this that I'm aware of, we just go ahead and Monstrous Rage the Scamp, and that should be game. Yep, nice little combo with Scamp. All right, 4-1. So I hope this is really giving you guys, you know, a lot of hope that it really is possible to do quite well with a budget deck. And the link for the list will be in the description. All right, opening hand looks great. We've got Kumano into Swift Spear, which feels super great. Okay, up against Artifacts. So unfortunately this thing has Word 2, we can't kill it, but we still can push a lot of damage here with Swift Spear. And our best bet is just dropping another Kumano. So now we do have enough to take out the Automaton. So this one, what does it do? It puts a counter on an assembly worker, and it's got Vigilance, so it can make itself bigger, which is annoying. I kind of want to kill both, but the Automaton is going to be more problematic. This is tough. I think maybe we just clear the way, and then like if they leave us back on blocks, we just try to push through it. So it's also a little bit more mana efficient this way. And we can get down our Epicure, which I like. So let's clear the Assembler. And then get Epicure going. And then we can filter out this mountain. And send into the red zone. Okay, Phoenix Chick is going to be great. We could use Lightning Strike to clear the way, but I think we just push with everything and then just sort of see what they do. And if we lose one of our creatures, doesn't really matter. We're going to push at least 5 points here to face, and then we can use this next turn to finish them off. We can go, these 5 will hit, and then 8, and this will be 9. Okay, if they want to block that way, then this is just game. Okay, 5-1. Opening hand looks just fine. We don't have another creature on 2, but I think that's okay. Kumano's good enough. You still want to run it out there, even if you don't have a creature to go with it. We do have 22 creatures in the deck, so should be able to maybe draw into something here. Our opponent here is deep in the tank. And there's a creature right on time. Here, I think we don't want to filter. We want to have 3 natural land, but kind of stop at 3. So, yeah. So they got Virtue here, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. So I think we'll keep everything here. Now they are at 20. We could see if working on Invasion of Regatha. This is an interesting question. I'm not sure if we want to try to flip this, but I think it could be pretty good. Because yeah, it's a prowess 4/4 that whenever a non-creature source would deal damage to a creature, battle, or opponent, deals that much damage +2 instead. So it would make our lightning strike like quite a bit stronger. We would have a ways to go here to flip it, so I'm not sure. Maybe we just do that next turn, and like this turn we go like Scamp plus Monstrous Rage. And that actually feels pretty good too. So I think getting the Scamp out there makes sense. Maybe we save Monstrous Rage for Scamp, but I kind of like just getting the damage in now. Could also leave Lightning Strike up here for whatever they play. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do. I think maybe I just hold up Lightning Strike. Although this is a nice time to see if we can get Rage going. Although I want to, yeah, be nice to get Rage on the Scamp. But, I think I'll just do it like this and then save the Lightning Strike for whatever potential play they have here. Path of Peril. That is unfortunate. Yep. And again, I don't really want to filter yet. I think it's fine just holding on. Let's get Epicure going. Oh, Obliterator. Oh my god, this is going to be rough. So we're going to have to do everything to face... wow. I guess we can just try to go completely face and just try to race this thing with like Monstrous Rage and whatnot. Unless they have life gain, which they might. Okay, we can start filtering here. Scamp is nice. Okay, Toshiro, sure. Double Toshiro, oh lord. This is going to be a rough matchup. Okay, I guess we just go invasion. Just keep working on them. Oof, another Path of Peril. Oh man, this is a rough beating. Okay, I guess let's just push what we got. We have a very short window to do some damage here. Guess we could get our 4/4 because we might need the extra reach with any spells, and this can sort of hold off his Tashiros for a little while. This will be a 3/3, can hold him back too, but if we knock him just down to 10, it's going to be really rough. I think we maybe are better off trying to flip this invasion. We're in a tough spot. I mean, there's sort of no way around it. Oof, Shieldred, okay. We could try to dig for something a little better, which I think is maybe the plan. But yeah, this game's unfortunately pretty much over. All the life gain off the Tashiros and the brick wall of the Obliterator. Guess let's, oh, this thing has Menace too, good lord. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Okay, 5 and 2. Can we take it any further? Yeah, like the opening hand, looks great. Okay, we've got Monstrous Rage here. I think let's just lead out with the... We're not sure Scamp is going to be able to connect, and we don't really want to finish the game yet, so I think I'm just going to go Chick here. Especially if they have removal, we can try to bring it back later. So Esper Control, maybe? Or Esper mid-range with like the Shieldred, Rafine, all that nonsense. Yeah, let's just Lightning Strike that Denick right out of here and then just keep pushing. We don't want any kind of lifelink or any kind of foothold. Okay, there's the Rafine right on time. And now we can go Swift Spear with Monstrous Rage if they decide to block. Yeah, he's too smart for us, which I understand. So I think we just drop Scamp maybe after this. We could also, this is a pretty safe time to Monstrous Rage. He might think we're all out. And we could push some extra damage this way. But a Scamp is nice too. Yeah, I think Monstrous Raging here is fine. This also lulls them into a false sense of security that we don't have anymore. So here I think we Kumano to turn this into a 3/4, and then potentially use this if he decides to block with a Schooner. We are racing against his Dennick, which sucks, so we're gonna... We could try to like hold it back and block, and maybe that's the better play. So we'd have a 2/3, we could make it into big enough if he decides to attack with it, but I think we can also push, maybe try to race the lifelink. I guess if he plays like this next turn, activates, attacks for 3, gains 5. Oh, that's gonna suck. So if he gains 5, we can push here for at least... at least 5. I think we're better off just trying to push extra damage now, seeing what he does. Okay, he is going to go for the Schooner play. And here we can just Monstrous Rage the Phoenix Chick. That does make it harder to break through next turn if he leaves anything back, but I don't really think he will. So, could also just play with fire here to set up our draws for next turn, since that'll just turn this into a 4/5. And it's not really... I suppose we could try to save play with fire for his Pious Apparition. That's the only other possibility, maybe. I kind of also like possibly doing like Monstrous Rage on the Cacophony Scamp next turn. Yeah, I guess let's Monstrous Rage now. Get a more damage going here. Now if he plays the Pious Apparition, we can play with fire to get rid of it. He'll gain 4 back off the Dennis, the Dennick. And I think we might want to put the extra point here on the Phoenix Chick to start pushing damage. So we can drop everything. Yeah, Scamp can just block his big Dennick next turn. Yeah. Don't really have any other options here, though, I think. I think we've just got to stay aggressive. See if we can outrace the crazy Denik. Oof, he's got Virtue. That's sick. You know, hindsight being 2020, there was another play. Instead of shooting down the Denik that was in the air, we could have attacked with everything, played our Cacophony Scamp, held the play with fire, waited to block, and then shoot our own guy so he doesn't get the lifelink. That actually probably would have been the play. I mean, his Virtue doesn't really matter, but I think that would have been the play. And then here, I guess, stop in the damage doesn't really save us. It'll be a 6 power next turn. I think they'll be coming for lethal, so I think we do maybe want to go ahead and block here. But I think that would have been... I didn't see it until now, unfortunately. That would have made it so we could have done enough to, I think, skate through. Because now if we push with both of these, we drop them to 6, drop them to 2. Yeah, this game might be out of reach, but... I guess if he doesn't block... Yeah, I think that would have been the way. But unfortunately did not see it in time. And with the Virtue, I don't think there's any sequence of plays I can draw here to not lose. So the lifelink is real. But yeah, thanks for coming along with me on the ride, and I hope you guys enjoyed that series. We did end up going 5-3, so did get something back here, but I think we might have been able to push on a little bit better with a tiny bit better gameplay. And let's take a look here at the deck itself. All right, so here we are again, a 63% win rate, 5-3, and this is sort of, we went 1-1 against mono red, beat out the artifacts deck, a mono white deck, lost to a very, very heavily tuned mono black control for lots of life gain, beat out a Dimir, lost to a Esper Legends with Denik, and beat out Golgari. So yeah, I feel pretty good about the deck. I think you guys really could do quite well with this on ladder if you don't have any rares or mythics. So hope you enjoy, and we will see you next time.